Filmmakers were cultural historians, largely. And I think that the stories that we want to tell are shaped by what kinds of images we have access to and how much those images are going to cost.
Some places are very straightforward, and some places are not. Particularly, I would say the private still houses are very fuzzy. And I don't know what it is, but they notoriously do not have any printed pricing that they will administer you. It's all pretty much verbal. And they want to immediately know what you're doing the film for. So classically, to me, they're trying to kind of figure out, well, how much can they charge?
So for instance, in a film that I did for HBO called Graduating Peter, that was a sequel to Educating Peter, there was a piece of music, A Man Loves a Woman. Now, I could have easily dropped something else in, but that was so essential to this character learning how to dance in preparation for going to the prom, and the fact that it was A Man Loves a Woman, just, it gives you a certain emotional rush. And so I went ahead to get rights for that. And I think actually Michael Jackson owns the rights to that.
Hiring a composer to write the music, then you sort of know what the costs are up front. But if you have pin drop, you have to find out who the artist is and the publisher. And those are different sources, and sometimes they're very hard to locate, and then you have to write them, and you have to have room to negotiate. So this cue I took because of time, where I took the risk knowing that potentially this was in the public domain. But the music union said that it was owned by a major union label.
Outside,
I wrote to them and they said it would be X amount of money. Well, meanwhile, the film is being finished. And I said I wanted to consider using what would it cost. Meanwhile, I'm using the cue. And I got a copyright research to go down to research it at the Library of Congress, and sure enough, it was in the public domain.
When I was doing a film for George Lucas, it was a documentary on best practice in education in America called Learn and Live, and we've been filming all over the country. And in Des Moines, Iowa, we were doing a thing on adult learning, and we filmed this wonderful series of activities that were going on in the community. And in that night of filming, I can't tell you how many locations, we filmed a class doing Texas two-step. And the Texas two-step scene ended up being the scene that caused us the most difficulty with rights.
We open at 6, we close at 10 or 11.
That basically what we did was we went into Skywalker Sound and we Foleyed. We've got a bunch of people out on a stage and we did Texas two-step. Not me, I don't do Texas two-step very well, but we got some people who could do Texas two-step. And then we mixed that into the show and we put some needle drop Texas two-step music in. Two modus operandi that we've kind of tried to instill in everyone, which is one, always turn the radio off when you're filming any kind of verite scene. Always turn the television off when you're shooting any kind of verite scene. So try and reduce the possible questions that may come up when you're in production, because then it comes back and haunts you.
What goes on with independent filmmakers, much more than failure to execute or shelved projects, is self-censorship. You consider, and then you don't pursue. You don't try what's not possible.
There's stagnation in culture unless there's more free flow of ideas.
I don't do music projects in general because of the rights problems.
There are fewer and fewer filmmakers with historical subjects. Who's going to give you $500,000 to make your first film? I tell people not to do it because you can't justify it financially.
Buy the half-price dress. The cocktail party will come. Have you been to Potomac Mills this month?
Since the baby's been born, we're home a lot more now, and we've ended up watching more TV than we used to, especially the local news.
Channel 7 photographer Richie Zaskin on the scene. Johnny on the spot.
It's not something that there is any clear legal definition of, to the extent that you can feel comfortable with, I'm doing a legal thing or I am doing an illegal thing.
Thank you.